Quick with the re-up. Always got my motherfucking heat up. Relax, kick your feet up. Lush is motherfucking live. Back for all of you bitches. You know what the fuck time is it? Hey. We got one of the dopest battle rap events of the year coming up. First of all, if you're watching this on Facebook, please don't hesitate to vote on the poll, to you know what I'm saying, share this to all the different groups. This deserves to be in all the groups. I want this in Talk Back. I want this in Western Conference. I want this in Angry Fan. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, where I'm getting my YouTube channel lit the fuck up again, what I'm going to need from y'all is to, you know what I mean, hit like, hit subscribe, all the, you know what I'm saying, and I'm going to try to get this YouTube channel back in action and get motherfuckers interacting, telling stories about my history in battle rap and hip-hop culture, giving you a whole bunch of other content, as well as music and music videos, and in addition to that, I will be doing a bunch more blogs about what's currently going on in battle rap culture. Know what I mean? Where the fucking comments at? Where the comments at? Why I can't see the comments? Hold up, I can't see the comments. Here we go. What's happening with y'all, man? What's happening with y'all? So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to wait till we get a few more people live before I get into this. For those of you that don't know, May 18th and May 19th, King of the Dot returns to the West Coast with our town Bidness card. It's probably, it's our first card in the West Coast since World Domination, what was it, 7 or 8? Which we had in Los Angeles and Toronto. And that's when Disaster battled Oxymoron and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers. But we haven't had a King of the Dot event in the Bay Area since 2015 with Battle of the Bay 7. That event kind of, you know, although it's technically a Battle of the Bay. What's up, Stacy? What you doing on live? What's good? My homegirl Stacy just popped up. Good to see you, baby. And although that's technically was an event under the Battle of the Bay franchise, it really didn't embody the spirit of the Battle of the Bay. We worked with outside partners, and it was somewhat of a fiasco. Hey, what's up, like baby girl? Most of the battles didn't go down the way they were supposed to. So this is really our first event in the Bay Area since Battle of the Bay 6. Which was in 2013, so that's 6 years later, and it's a year and a half since we had one in California, period. Now, what's dope about this event, if y'all don't know the card, who's familiar with the card? It's a 2-day event. Day 1, we got Active versus Oops. We got Pass versus B Magic. We got Geechee Gotti versus Head Ice. Man, it's such a... We got Rum Nitty versus Big K. You know, day 2, we got Mad Flex on the card on day 1. We got... Every single battle is fire. Day 2, we got Thesaurus versus Caustic. We got Disaster versus Danny Myers. And 4 other battles that we haven't announced yet. Me, if y'all don't know, I've been battling... I don't currently battle rap, but I entered the culture and have been battling since the late 90s. My very first battle was on my high school campus in 9th grade. So, you know, that was probably 1997. I told everybody I knew how to rap. I had never really rapped before. There's a kid that did know how to rap. Shouts my partner EJ. And, you know what I'm saying, some kids from another school came. Some of them actually turned out to be well-known Grammy-winning artists. Shouts to Terrace Martin, and there was a big ass battle on my high school campus, and that was super lit. That kind of got me open to battling, and I battled people on the streets constantly. I used to go to Project Blood when I was, when I was a teenager, and there wasn't really that many white people at all. It was like me and Cut Chemist were like the only white people in like a 5-mile radius at the Blood, and I wasn't even really allowed to hop on the stage there, but I was in the ciphers mixing it up, getting schooled by some of the best. When I moved to the Bay Area in 2001, my whole entire ambition and dream was just to be an MC and to be heard. And I felt and still feel like my voice was a vital voice. My perspective was unique, and everything that I was bringing to the table needed to be heard. So all I wanted to do was MC. And at that time, there wasn't really much of a separation between being a battle rapper and just being an overall MC and working your way up from the underground. Like me, yeah, of course, I like to. My primary ambition was to make music. I had this thing called the Tascam Porta Studio. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that. I know it's buried somewhere in my storage in my apartment under like, several relics of the past, but it actually was, before Pro Tools was available to the masses. At the time, we're talking 2001, 2000, Pro Tools was made by a company by Digidesign and cost about 7 racks. There wasn't no M boxes, wasn't no people recording Pro Tools at their crib. It was only in high-end studios. There was no such thing as prosumer. For those that don't know what prosumer means, it means somewhere in between professional and consumer level gear, and was only available if you had a bag to spend on it. And mainly it was major studios that were using it. And at the time, analog recording was still important, was still how most of the albums that you were hearing, Dr. Dre 2001, you know what I'm saying, Kanye West, College Dropout, Jay-Z, The Blueprint, all these albums were recorded on 2-inch tape, analog. Now, man, if you were broke as fuck but you still wanted to record, what you would do is you would get a Tascam Porta Studio, which literally recorded on tapes. Regular cassette tapes, the same kind that your auntie pops in when she wants to fucking listen to Now That's What I Call Music Volume 2, or her Crazy Town, Come My Lady, Come My Lady CD from 1999. That was how independent artists would get their recording on and what we would do. So what was crazy about that, though, you couldn't record on it and put it in a regular tape player because it was 4 tracks. 2 sides were on were on side A, and the other 2 tracks were on side B, and then you would bounce it down, record it into another device, and that was kind of your mastering process. So I had a Tascam Porta Studio, and I would record my own music. The first 2 tracks would be the beats, and then I would have 1 track for my main vocal, 1 track for the overdub. And at the time, I was battling everybody I could on the streets. Shortly thereafter, I joined a crew called Delinquent Monastery, Delmont Crew, and it was right around that time, 2002, where I'd been battling so much on the streets, and I was pretty fucking good at it, at freestyle battling. I was smoking motherfuckers. I was going to every single hood in the Bay Area. I was up in Oakland. I'm from LA, but I moved up to the town, and me and my homeboy Norm Nizzle, free Norm Nizzle, and Dish Dash, free my homeboy Dish Dash. They both doing football numbers right now. We had a group called the Goblins, and we were doing like real Bay Area street music, but we had hella bars and we're rapping our ass off and battling motherfuckers. So since we were gobbling MCs, pause on that, by the way. At the time, it sounded tight. We were just, that was our name, and we were known for going anytime that there was known to be a dope battle rapper, we would go to their neighborhood, pop up on the street, and it was really tense atmospheres, and we would battle. And the first time I ever got invited to battle on stage was at a place called the Black Box Theater, and it was an event called Oakland Mic Check. I think it was 2002. And what was dope about that was, I hadn't really been on too many, rapped into too many microphones in my life. I had a few random, there was like a few random performances I had done. I remember I performed in fucking rehab. When I was in rehab, there was a rehab talent show in the year 2000. There's a venue in the San Fernando Valley in LA called the Cobalt, who would it was mainly like a punk rock venue, and it would tend to get shut down because there was all kinds of crazy shit going on. But one of the first, what's happening with it? I'm part of Just Jay in the function. One of the first times that I ever touched a mic was there, and we did a rap show in like 1999. But I really consider the first time I actually battled on stage was at this event, and it was called Mic Check 2002. Now, nowadays people really don't understand how much a lot of battle MCs might be like, man, I wish I could get on URL, or I wish I could get on King of the Dot, and it's so hard, and there's no rap battles in my region, and what the fuck do I do to get attention? Well, remember, this is an era pre the popularization of hip hop on the internet. In fact, the internet was only something that was not in every house in the hood, at this time. It was only like certain people that were either super tech savvy or predominantly upper middle class people that had easy access to the internet. There wasn't that much, and the entire underground hip hop scene was based on word of mouth, was based on going to shows, was based on getting in people's faces and, selling your fucking product. You'd have to go rhyme in front of people, and if they liked you, you could sell them your music, and that was the way to get the word out. So, I remember at the time I was at a little school called Expression Center for New Media. I didn't go to college, but for a little while I did go to technical school to try to learn more about the craft that I've always wanted to do in my life, which was being involved in the entertainment field, particularly music. And as I said, I had only recorded on tapes. To call it analog is technically analog, but that's like almost doing it a disservice. What's happening with you, Taryn? Mwah, baby girl. Literally everything I was doing was on tape, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Wanted to embrace the DIY, do-it-yourself spirit, which the Bay Area is so famous for. See, in LA, if you wanted to be a rapper, you had to get a record deal. But in the Bay Area, this is the independent mecca of hip-hop. Not just hip-hop. You should have battled Organic when you were... Yeah, that could have been cool. By the time I was running King of the Dot, by the time I was running Grind Time and Organic had King of the Dot launched, by that point, we were both so immersed in our careers as event organizers, and I was simultaneously still doing the thing with my music, that there was really no chance for either one of us to battle. I started out in Grind Time by battling when I battled Unorthodox Phrases. Organic traveled to the West Coast to battle on Grind Time versus Disaster, and those were kind of the two seminal moments of our battle career at that time during that era. But, we were mainly concentrated on getting our weight up, not our hate up, as event curators and hosts. So that's what the fuck we were doing at the time. Now, really, like I said, back 2001, 2002, I was really trying to just cut my teeth as an MC. Any stage that I was able to get on, I was down to get on. And battling was just a way for me to prove that I was a better rapper than others and I was more worthy of other people's attention. By the way, I posted a poll on this live for those of you that are watching this on Facebook, and it says, do you ever freestyle battle on stage? Right now it's 88% yes, 12% no. I don't know where all y'all that still freestyle battle on stage are, because it's increasingly so less and less. But at the time, in the West Coast, there was no on the street acapella format, pre-written style battling. Yes, Smack was doing this. Yes, Fight Club was incorporating elements of this. Yes, there was battles in Philadelphia, shouts to, you know what I'm saying, Philly, that were doing this, but that wasn't really the case in the West Coast. We were, the West Coast is the freestyle mecca, so all of our battles happen to be freestyle. And one of my homeboy Art, you know what I'm saying, he was a DJ, his name was A-Dub the Trip Nip, shouts to my partner. He caught wind of somebody that was throwing a freestyle battle. Some girl, I think her name was Farrah. Shouts to Farrah. And she was throwing an invite-only freestyle battle that was called Oakland Mic Check. Now, they had it the year before. The winner of that competition was a guy named Reef the Lost Cause. Those of you that are really familiar with underground hip-hop and know the crew, the Demigods, are probably familiar with Reef. I believe he's from Boston. Real dope MC, real dope freestyle battler. So he was the champion, and he was invited back to return. At this event, there was a bunch of different people that wanted to enter, but there was only 8 slots. So in order to get one of those slots, you had to audition. So I had to, basically, I was given this woman Farrah's phone number. I don't know who made her the gatekeeper of hip-hop culture. Last time that I checked, she had the same haircut as, she had Charlie Brown's hairline if it was filled in. She had the same haircut as the ugly nerdy bitch from Scooby-Doo. What's that, Velma? Yeah, because Daphne was the bad redhead, right? Yeah, she had Velma. She had literally this super fucking 80s haircut. All right, this Super Bowl cut from hell. But apparently, this is her event. The winner, I think, got $500 or $250. Second prize was $100. Third prize was $50 and some shrimp jambalaya. But just to give you guys an idea of how much easier, or just how different the game was. Now, I think the event cost $10 at the door to get into. Now, in addition to having to pass tryouts and qualify to even get into the event, there's a $20 registration fee. So you had to pay to perform. All right. Now, other battles like Scribble Jam, sometimes, which was in Cincinnati, we would have to fly ourselves out. After qualifying, mind you. After qualifying, we'd have to fly ourselves out, pay to get into the event, and pay a registration fee. So, yeah. Shouts to my boy Sickle for quoting my bar from Mind Games 2005 freestyle battle where I told Franco, and I'm expected to fail, but he looked like Kevin McHale when he was 7 and frail. That was one of the first bars of mine that really at that point the internet was in full swing, so people were They were definitely like feeling that bar right there. Yeah, exactly. Like the prize money was minimal, and even to get a chance to perform, you had to cash out. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a well, we had to walk 300 miles barefoot in the snow with gangrene and frostbite and early onset HIV before Dr. Sebi released his dye, so there was no cure to get to the rap battle. Yeah, like, but it was a lot more difficult for us to even get to that point. You know what I mean? To get to battling was a lot more, you know, it was pay to play before pay to play. It was kind of extortion. It was, I don't know if y'all know this about pilots, but pilots, airline pilots, you'd figure they make like a few hundred racks a year and they're really well paid, but they're actually paid very poorly. And they actually have to go through a whole rigmarole to even get through the process of being a pilot. And it's highly competitive. And that's because, why do you think that is? It's because being a pilot is such a high in demand job. And being a respected battle MC and having the attention of the masses and getting on the microphone is something that people have tried to exploit and will continue to try to exploit. That's why promoters to this day still do pay to play shows, and you have to, you know, they take advantage of up and coming hungry MCs and make them pay to even get on a stage, which literally kind of like throws off the entire process of what of being an artist as a career and the music business from a young age. Anyway, my first MC battle on stage, I auditioned for this girl. Somehow, some way, I made it into the tournament, and and there was 8 of us that made it, and hence begun the Oakland Mic Check 2002 MC battle. Now, I'm sure a very common question that people ask is there footage of this battle? The answer is yes. The next question is where it's at. I don't fucking know. I don't know where the footage is, but I do know that it exists somewhere, and hopefully it finds its way online at a certain point. I remember that Zion I was the host of the event, and which was really dope to me because I was a huge fan of the Zion I album, Mind Over Matter. You know, Zion I were one of the top hip hop groups in the Bay Area at the time. So, and he was also a judge. So, you know, having Zion I in the function, just getting to rap in front of him was exciting. Billy Jam, DJ Billy Jam, somebody tag him in here because shouts to Billy Jam. He was one of the most respected DJs in Bay Area history, had his own pirate radio station. If you're from the Bay and you listen to hip-hop in the 90s, you're probably familiar with Billy Jam. He's still the motherfucking man. Shouts to Billy Jam. He on my Facebook friends list, so somebody tag him in here. Shouts to him for being one of the judges. DJ Joe Quicks was the DJ, and he was a very well-respected DJ, and was also an employee and the DJ at Amoeba Records in Berkeley, California, which was kind of like the centralized location meeting ground for the Bay Area underground. You can't really say the word town business or discuss Bay Area hip-hop without referencing Amoeba Records right there on the corner of Telegraph Ave and Haste, where, you know, we used to, not only were there several artists, we all had our music inside there and people would buy our music in the store, but we were outside rapping to whoever was within earshot, and if there was other rappers there, we would battle each other, and then we would, you know, crowds of 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 50 to hundreds of people would congregate watching all these talented artists go at it, and whoever had the most juice at the moment, whoever captivated the crowd, that's who was going to be selling the CDs. And It's crazy how everything was so centrally located on that block, because we would record our album on 4-track tapes, and then we would take the 4-track tapes and normally hook it up to a home stereo system that had some type of input, and we would master it there. And if we wanted to mass produce it on CDs, there was a store called DJ Skills Workshop, which was 2 doors down from Amoeba Records. And over there, although it wasn't really like a hip-hop shop, it was more like the local like rave DJ store. They had like a back room there where you could do live mixing, and what we would do is we would just take the tape that we bounced down and record it to TV and or to CD and separate the tracks on it right there, and that's how we would mass produce our CDs. And we would go to the library a few doors down from there, and the Kinko's to make our album covers. And I know this sounds so fucking archaic, but it is an interesting piece of not only just hip-hop history, but definitely Bay Area street culture. This is the way so much of it got started, and so much of it was right there on the borderline of South Berkeley and UC Berkeley, essentially, right there on Telegraph and Hasten Telegraph and Dwight, which is where the Kinko's was, where we would, and DJ Skills Workshop, where we would mass produce all of our album covers. And when I say mass produce, I mean literally like print out 50 to 100 copies and, you know, cut them. And then we would go to, what was it called, Office Max, to buy the blank, the little CD cases, and then we'd put it all in there ever so gingerly and handwrite on the CDs, and then go out there and sell them right there on the corner. And so originally that venue where this freestyle battle that I've been getting so long to get to discussing. What's up, Emily? Emily was a homegirl of mine that was at a lot of the early events. I don't even know if she's still watching, but she was there for the early days of Del Mar Crew, Fist of Palm Nation, and she saw a lot of the kind of the aftermath of this early days of the culture. So the Oakland Box Theater, which was originally called the Black Box Theater. Now, by the way, this venue has a new name. And the name of this venue is called The Uptown. The former DJ of Del Mar Crew, my homeboy, DJ Drewski, Andrew Jones, now runs a company called Oakland Venue Management, and they do provide the security and event management for the entire downtown Oakland region, including this venue right here. But at the time, this was before it was called the Uptown, before it was even called the Oakland Box Theater. It was still called the Black Box Theater. My homeboy Steve Snyder, who's Drew's partner, was actually at this event, and he was one of the early event organizers, and held it down over there. And I was actually super pissed off because, long story short, I got third place out of all the hundreds of people that tried out, and the 8 MCs that were the finalists. I'm sorry, it was 16 MCs that were finalists. I wound up getting third place, and where's my motherfucking shrimp jambalaya? They said no shrimp jambalaya. They said shrimp jambalaya for the top 3 finalists, and they didn't give me any, and I was a real butthurt. Like, you feel me? I couldn't even like sit down on the toilet for weeks because of no shrimp jambalaya. But anyways, regardless of that, it was dope because I got to this venue. There's hundreds of people there. I was wearing a baby blue Burton snowboard jacket, which that was pretty much my uniform. I wore that every day. And a baby blue LA beanie. I'd only been living in Oakland for about a year and a half at the time. There's always been at the time, nowadays it's way less significant than it ever was, but there's always been weird rivalry / tension between Los Angeles and the Bay Area. A lot of it stems from sports teams. A lot of it stems from cultural differences. A lot of it stems from LA kind of ignoring the influence and utilizing influence that the Bay Area provides and not giving proper credit. And a lot of it also stems from the Bay Area kind of being jealous of the shine that the Bay Area, that Los Angeles gets, and overshadowed. And all of this kind of, all of these different things kind of become a combustible thing that result into a rivalry. And some of it's somewhat healthy and some of it's somewhat toxic. And then when prisons and street gangs are added to the equation, it only intensifies that in a severely negative way. But, you know, all that shit's corny to me. I was just there to rap battle. Everybody else that was there was from the Bay. Even though the Bay Area considers me a Bay Area representative, I lived in the projects, you feel me, right off there in the 30s for several years, and really put in a lot of work in various levels, from the streets to hip-hop culture to community efforts to grassroots movements. Like the Bay Area, Oakland, Cali in particular, will always be my home, you know, but I'm an LA boy at the end of the day. So this battle right here, there's a few hundred people. It's by far the largest crowd that I had ever performed in front of. The whole entire room was full. There I am. I had my girlfriend at the time. I remember they were playing the record called Knock Knock by The Genius. GZA from Wu-Tang Clan was one of the last songs that DJ Joe Quicks played before the battle actually began. And I remember just like that. I remember my girl was sitting there. She was giving me a massage. I felt like Rocky Balboa. Adrian was rubbing my shoulders. I had a few homies there with me, but the majority of the fans and the entire scene at large didn't know who I was. And they were playing that GZA record. And I remember, how does the hook go? Knock, knock. Who the fuck is that knocking at my door? Is he abstract, commercial out, or hardcore? I don't care who it is, I just want more. It was basically like, it was a battle record, and it was, I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm a nicer MC. I'm going to take you out. So that shit kind of got me juiced. Then they invited all the MCs backstage. There's a backstage that was equivalent to a janitor's closet there. You could kind of turn around. No, I'm just kidding. There's like it felt like that though. And I remember going backstage. Oh, you know what? I got my whole entire outfit wrong. I wasn't wearing the light blue, but I did wear that outfit quite often. But this is even better. My outfit was even better. I was wearing a head to toe velour Rocawear. It was either Rocawear or FUBU jumpsuit, head to toe in velour, and I had a headband on. All right? I had a headband on. And I remember being backstage, sizing up all the different MCs. I remember some of the MCs in this tournament. Shouts to my homegirl Sayadina. Shouts to Hambone. Shouts to the rapping ass Sage. Shouts to KEV, killing every verse. Shouts to Coley Cole. Shouts to FLO. Shouts to Reef the Lost Cause. Those are some of the more notable MCs that were in the tournament. I remember first round of the battle, I went up against rapping ass Sage. I was able to win that battle. I remember the first line that I ever kicked in a freestyle battle. And it's crazy because it was like somewhat premeditated. I knew I was going to say it. Like I had the line in my head, so it was kind of cheating, but it was still freestyle, right? I don't know if that fully makes sense to you. Press love if you get that. And it's crazy because it was kind of prophetic, because this was during the time R. Kelly was first going under scrutiny for fucking with little girls, etc. I think that first video came out of him, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But Sage went first. He didn't really get much of a reaction, and that was kind of boosting up my confidence. But then the first thing I said when I got on the mic was, LA in this bitch, and Oakland 2002, whatever. That didn't really elicit too much response in my favor. Saying the whole crowd said, boo! So it was kind of an uphill battle from that point. But after my first punchline, I kind of got them back. I said, man, this fool ain't rapping. He just bark a lot. I leave him sweating like R. Kelly in a preschool parking lot. And everybody was like, oh. And then I had a couple more punches. And, I advanced to the next round. I went up against this dude named Hambone in round 2, and I was pretty sure I was going to win because although he was really stylistically based, Hambone had a lot of he had a lot of character, man, and he was styling out really hard, but he had a lot of vocal inflection. He was kind of like, his voice was going up and down, but I couldn't really make out too much of what this dude was saying, and I just remember saying something like, I don't know if this is a ghost I see, but I'm battling a fake-ass version of ODB. And everybody went crazy. Won that battle. Before the tournament started, I saw Reef the Lost Cause, and I knew who he was. And I knew he was the champion. And I remember introducing myself to him, and he was like, okay. I remember him giving me props after my second round. Like, okay, looks like I'll be seeing you pretty soon. And wound up battling him in the semifinals. And that was my biggest fear up into that point, was going up against an MC who was going up against an MC like, what would they say to me? What was going to be said to me? What were going to be the angles used against me? Would it hurt my feelings? Would it make me not want to rap anymore? Like, I was just so scared of what would be said against me and how I would react to a crowd going, ooh, damn, fuck, he got you, you getting roasted. Like, how would I deal with that? And going up against Reese, let's just say I found out, but I did give him a good fight. I remember some of my bars against him. He's from Philadelphia. I said Boston earlier. I should have said Philly. I know he's from Philadelphia. I said, and he had a beard. So I was like, I'll throw your tape out on the freeway. Stay the fuck out of the East Bay. He got a long ass beard and he's from Philly. I'm battling a fake ass freeway. I'll eat his whole style like a cheesesteak. And at the time, people were like, damn, like, okay, I was swinging. But he said to me, what is this, the HBO channel? I'm battling a young Anthony Soprano. And for some reason, the crowd went crazy about that. You know, he was just like, his delivery was crazy. He was hitting me with punch after punch after punch. He had a line about my headband, and he's like, why are you wearing a headband? Are you scared? He's trying to hide the fact he going bald. I mean, duh, bro. But yeah, so he won the battle, but I got my props. I didn't get the shrimp jambalaya. That's all right. But it put me on the radar as a known up-and-coming MC in the Bay Area and the world at large, and that was me cutting my teeth. And I got a chance to get props by fools like Billy Jam, Zion I, Joe Quicks. I remember, like, I even would incorporate them into punchlines, like, you know what I'm saying? I would be like, you know, like, I'm rhyming fly Like, I'll kick your ass with no shoes on like Zion I. Because Zion I used to perform without shoes on. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know this, every time I flow sick with this verbal blade, it moved faster than the hands of Joe Quicks. Like, at the time, all that shit was super, super lit. And it was dope to get acknowledgement for that, to kind of pop up on the radar. And what's crazy is now, fast forward close to 2 decades later, King of the Dot is now hosting the Town Bidness event on the very same stage, at the very same location as I battled several years ago. So it's full circle, and I'm proud to be a part of this event. Go to KOTDTV.com. Buy you some shit. I might need to get on the mic and bust some bars my damn self. My homie DJ Smokey Martinez will be in the function. DJ Doctor will be in the function. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be lit. I can't wait. But that stage to me is so nostalgic, and I've put in so much work on that stage under all of his different names, under all of his different monikers and incarnations. It'll be difficult for me. Maybe I'll need to drop some more... Maybe I'll need to spit some shit from my new album, A Saint and a Tyrant, on that stage, just because. But regardless, it's an honor to return to that stage due to the fact that there's so much history within the Bay Area and myself personally. And now we are hosting the biggest MC battle in years in the Bay Area. And all these legends like, Mr. Fab, Mac Mall, all of them that have been there and rocked on this stage will be in the function for this. It's an honor. I'm very, very excited. Before I do a push into the next episode, download this bitch and put it up on YouTube. Are there any final questions or final thoughts? If I lost, you know that the scoreboard ain't tacked. If I lost, the scoreboard ain't intact. I move more weight than Nordic track. My outfit you can't afford to have. When it comes to the loud, I scorch the pack. This is Lush motherfucking Uno live, bringing Oakland back. That way. My partner Joe Powers want to know what's my favorite victory in a freestyle battle that I ever had. By the way, shouts to FLO for winning that freestyle battle tournament. My brother FLO, he killed everyone. He was a terrifying battler, and he wound up beating Reeves the Lost Cause in the finals. My favorite victory in a freestyle battle that I ever had would have to be against, there's this dude named Mike T. Shouts to Mike T. from the Cytoplasms crew out of Berkeley, California. He was known as one of the best freestyle battlers, and I beat him on the street for $50. It was a $50 bet in front of 2232 MLK on the corner of... Martin Luther King and West Grand Avenue. That's a venue that I wound up running for a period of time. It's now probably some lame-ass hipster bar, but that battle lasted about an hour and a half, and I won. And, I've beaten some more reputable names, but at the time, he was a legend. I think I called him a light-skinned Mickey Mouse, all kinds of crazy shit. It was wild, and that battle today still resonates when I just think off top of a battle that's the first thing that comes to mind. Much love to y'all. Stay tuned. Like I said, hit like, hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Share this if you're watching it on Facebook. West up or vest up. Jits up or get lit up. Y'all know what time is it. Lush motherfucking Uno. Get that pay-per-view. www.kotdtv.com. And listen to and please purchase my new album before it is available on all distribution outlets right now, because I get the money directly on lushone.bandcamp.com. Click on A Saint and a Tyrant or any other album that you want to purchase and buy it right there. Much love to y'all. East of the West, up north of the down south, live wires connect. If you're swinging on things, or riding on the train, or if you gang bang, this is how you do your thing. West.